Ever wondered how to survive in the UK as a foreigner? Well, you're not alone. Many people from around the world dream of living in the United Kingdom, with its rich history, diverse culture, and bustling cities. But the thought of navigating life in a new country can be daunting. That's where we come in. This comprehensive guide is designed to equip you with the essential knowledge and tips you need to not just survive but thrive in the UK. From understanding the local culture to mastering the language, from navigating public transport to managing finances, and even adapting to the famously unpredictable British weather, we've got you covered. By the end of this video, you'll be armed with practical, actionable steps that will make your transition to life in the UK smoother and more enjoyable. Stay tuned to discover the essential steps to thriving in the UK as a foreigner. Firstly, let's dive into understanding the British culture. This is vital because culture is an integral part of any society, and understanding it can help you navigate smoothly through your daily life in the UK. British culture is renowned for its politeness. It's a society where saying please, thank you, and sorry is not just a courtesy, but a way of life. These simple words are like magic keys that open doors of communication and build relationships. So, don't be surprised if you hear them more often than you are used to. Now let's talk about the British love for tea. It's not just a beverage, it's a tradition, a comfort, and a conversation starter. Whether it's a sunny afternoon or a rainy evening, a cup of tea is always welcomed. So, when someone offers you a cup, it's not just about sipping a hot drink. It's about sharing a moment and being part of a tradition. And then there's the royal family. Brits have a deep fascination and respect for their monarchy. It's an institution that has been part of their history for over 1,000 years. So whether it's a royal wedding, a birth, or just a casual outing, it's always a topic of interest and conversation. Another aspect to note is the importance of cues and punctuality. Brits have an unwritten rule that cues are sacred and everyone must wait their turn. And when it comes to time, being punctual is seen as a sign of respect. So if you have an appointment or a meeting, make sure you're on time. Understanding these cultural nuances will not only help you adapt to life in the UK, but also appreciate the unique aspects of British society. Remember, every culture has its own charm and beauty, and the British culture is no exception. Remember, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. So, when in Britain, embrace the courtesy, enjoy the tea, respect the cues, be punctual, and you'll fit right in. Next up, mastering the English language. The English language, in all its beautiful complexities, is the key that unlocks the door to your new life in the United Kingdom. It's more than just a way to order fish and chips at the local pub. It's your ticket to understanding the nuances of British culture, from the subtleties of humor to the intricacies of social etiquette. Now you might think I already speak English, so I'm good to go, right? Well, not quite. British English, with its unique accents and colorful slang, can feel like a different language altogether. But don't worry. With a little practice and patience, you'll soon be bantering with the locals like a true Brit. Start by immersing yourself in the language. Listen to British radio stations, watch British TV shows, and read British newspapers. The more you expose yourself to the language in its natural habitat, the more familiar it will become. Next, make a conscious effort to learn and use British slang. Words like bloke for man, knackered for tired, and quid for pounds are part of everyday vernacular. Don't be afraid to ask someone if you don't understand a word or phrase. The British are known for their politeness and will be more than happy to explain. And of course, practice makes perfect. Speak English as much as possible, even if you make mistakes. After all, it's through mistakes that we learn. Join a language exchange group, take an online course, or hire a tutor if possible. There are plenty of resources available to help you improve your English skills. Remember, language is more than just grammar and vocabulary. It's a reflection of culture, history, and identity. When you learn the English language, you're not just learning how to communicate, you're learning how to understand and appreciate the British way of life. Language is not just a tool for communication, but a bridge to understanding a new culture. Moving on to navigating the maze of British public transport. In the United Kingdom, public transport is a lifeline, connecting every corner of the country. It's efficient, reliable, and a lot easier to use than you might think. From the iconic red double-decker buses and the efficient underground tube in London to the expansive network of trains that crisscross the country, getting from A to B is rarely a problem. First off, let's talk about the tube. It's the quickest way to travel across London, especially during peak times. The tube map may look like a tangled web, but don't be discouraged. Each line is color-coded and named, making it simple to track your route. Just make sure you're going in the right direction. Now let's hop on a bus. Buses in the UK are not just limited to city travel. They also serve suburbs, towns, and even remote rural areas. The key to a smooth bus journey is knowing the number of the bus you need and the name of your destination stop. Trains, on the other hand, are a great option for longer journeys or day trips to other cities. They're comfortable, fast, and often offer stunning views of the British countryside. Just remember to book your tickets in advance for the best prices. An essential tool for any public transport user in the UK is the Oyster card. This prepaid card can be used on the majority of London's public transport, including the tube, buses, trams, and even some river services. Just tap in at the start of your journey and tap out at the end. It's that simple. And lastly, always remember to plan your journeys in advance. Use apps or websites to check timetables, routes, and any potential delays. This will not only save you time, but also avoid any unnecessary stress. Getting around in the UK is a breeze once you get the hang of it. So pack your Oyster card, download a journey planner, and you're all set to explore the United Kingdom. Now let's talk about managing finances in the UK. Living in the United Kingdom can be a unique experience, but it's important to understand the cost of living to make the most of your time there. The cost of living varies greatly, with London and the Southeast being the most expensive regions. You'll need to account for rent, groceries, transportation, utilities, and personal expenses. Setting up a bank account is a fundamental step in managing your finances. It's a fairly straightforward process. You'll need your passport, proof of address, and sometimes proof of employment. With a UK bank account, you can easily manage your income and expenses, pay bills, and transfer funds. Paying taxes is another essential aspect of financial life in the UK. If you're working, you'll pay income tax and national insurance. The amount you pay is dependent on your income. You might also need to pay council tax, which contributes to local services like rubbish collection and road maintenance. It's important to understand these obligations to avoid any surprises. Saving money in the UK can be challenging, but it's not impossible. Consider shopping at discount supermarkets, cooking at home, and taking advantage of student or senior discounts if applicable. Also, try to limit unnecessary expenses and prioritize your needs. Budgeting effectively is crucial. Start by tracking your income and expenses, understand where your money is going, and identify areas where you can cut back. Allocate funds for necessities like rent and food first, then set aside a portion for savings, and finally, budget for leisure activities. Remember, it's okay to treat yourself occasionally, but don't make it a habit. Setting financial goals can also be helpful. Whether it's saving for a vacation, a new gadget, or a rainy day fund, having a goal can motivate you to stick to your budget. Managing your finances wisely is the key to a stress-free life in the UK. By understanding the cost of living, setting up a bank account, paying your taxes, saving money, and budgeting effectively, you can take control of your financial future in the UK. It might seem overwhelming at first, but with time and practice, you'll become a pro at managing your finances in the UK. Lastly, let's touch upon adapting to the British weather. Now, if you've heard anything about the UK, it's probably that the weather can be, well, a tad unpredictable. It's not uncommon to experience all 4 seasons in a single day. Yes, you heard that right. One moment you might be basking in the sun, and the next you could be reaching for your umbrella as the heavens open up. The UK's weather patterns are largely influenced by the Atlantic Ocean, meaning it has a temperate maritime climate. This results in mild, wet winters and cool, damp summers, but don't let this deter you. The weather, with its whims and quirks, is part of the charm of living in the UK. Now, onto some practical advice. Always, and I mean always, carry an umbrella. It can be your best friend, protecting you from sudden showers. You may also want to invest in a good raincoat for those days when an umbrella just doesn't cut it. Dressing in layers is another key to surviving the British weather. It allows you to adjust to the changing temperatures throughout the day. Start with a base layer, add a middle layer for warmth, and finish with a waterproof outer layer. And don't forget your scarf, gloves, and hat during the colder months. The weather can indeed affect daily life and plans in the UK. A sunny day might mean a spontaneous trip to the beach or a picnic in the park. On the other hand, a rainy day could be the perfect excuse for a cozy day indoors, perhaps curled up with a good book or binge-watching your favorite series. So, while the British weather may seem daunting at first, remember that it's all part of the experience. Embrace it, adapt to it, and before you know it, you'll be discussing the weather like a true Brit. As they say, there's no such thing as bad weather, only unsuitable clothing. And there you have it, a comprehensive guide on how to survive in the UK as a foreigner. We've covered a lot of ground today trying to equip you with the tools, tips, and tricks to make your stay in the UK not just bearable, but enjoyable and hopefully unforgettable. We began our journey by exploring the rich and diverse culture of the UK, emphasizing the importance of understanding and embracing it. From the subtle nuances of British etiquette to the grandeur of their festivals and celebrations, understanding the culture is the first step to feeling at home here. Next, we tackled the challenge of mastering the English language. We highlighted the significance of understanding the local slang and idioms, and the role they play in daily conversations. It's a language filled with quirks and eccentricities, but that's part of its charm. We then moved on to navigating the public transport system. We discussed the convenience and efficiency of the UK's transport network, from the iconic red buses of London to the sprawling railway system that connects the country. Our journey continued with a focus on managing finances, exploring the cost of living, and providing tips on budgeting and saving. We put a spotlight on the importance of financial planning to ensure a comfortable and stress-free stay. Next, we dove into the UK's unpredictable weather. We stressed the need to always be prepared for a sudden change in weather and how this can influence your daily activities and wardrobe choices. Finally, we recapped all these survival tips, emphasizing the importance of adaptability and open-mindedness when living in a new country. It's about embracing the challenges as part of the adventure. If you've enjoyed this virtual tour of the UK and are intrigued enough to consider it for your next adventure, why not give this video a thumbs up? Your likes are the compass that guides us in creating content that you love. And if you're already a part of our travel-loving community, thank you. You are the wind beneath our wings. If you're new here and you found value in this video, consider joining the family. Hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to ensure you never miss out on a new destination.